Hello everybody, Giant here with another episode of the Game Prowl. This time taking a look at Legends of Aethereus, an action RPG developed by 3 Gate Studios, supposedly with a very meaty combat system, which I will of course demonstrate a little bit later. Other than that though, very MMO-like, but you know, again, we'll talk about the gameplay when we get to the gameplay. For now, gonna take a quick look at the options here. You got full screen, you got screen resolution all the way up to 2560 by 1440. So if you have a crazy large monitor, don't worry, you're in luck. Or just want high quality and have a good PC, which I quite obviously don't. Quality options, they aren't very specific, but you go from lowest to fantastic. Other than that, though, you can't really choose much other than that. You can turn on the balloon, turn on the stun shaft, and SSAO. I'm actually not entirely sure what that is. Forgive me, my knowledge of PC gaming isn't all that well. So over here in sound, I mean, PC options like that. Sound, you have the master volume, which is very good to have, obviously, for obvious reasons. You can just blatantly mute the game if you wanted. Like, not sure why you'd want to do that, but, you know, it's there if you want to. In terms of sound, you have 5.1 surround, 5.1 Pro Logic 2, 7.1 surround, and just stereo. And, of course, down here under detailed volume settings, you got music, ambience, environment. You have a lot of different volume settings, which is, of course, very nice to have. Interface settings, you have mouse lerping. What is that? Well, it's mouse acceleration. So, this game starts with mouse acceleration on. You can turn it off as easily as click. You can invert the mouse if you're a freak. I don't, of course, mean that. I know some people like to play with an inverted mouse, but, you know, I just gotta extend my ego sometimes. You can extend the mouse X and Y sensitivity. I have it all the way up to max, and that's still, I don't know. All the way up to max works fine for me, and of course it's gonna spawn there. You can turn on and off your helmet, so depending on how proud you are of your character's face, which, again, we'll get into later, you can turn that on or off. I just like to keep it on because I think helmets look cooler than human faces. Sorry, that's just the way I am. Alright, camera position. You can position your camera, of course, to the left, middle, or right of your character, depending on your preference. Just, it's a minor offset. It's not like your character's going to be all the way over here. It's a minor offset. You, of course, have subtitles. You can switch the language to Swedish or Russian. And, of course, over here in the keyboards, you can have fully rebindable keys on pretty much all the actions in the game. So, settings are pretty good. I like it. But now for the real thing that matters, the video game itself. So, let's jump into single player. Of course, I have 2 characters already. They're both part of the separate faction, or not necessarily factions. I'd call them more classes. But let's look at the character creation for a bit. So, first things first, you're gonna come here and you essentially got your 2 major classes here. You have the Inventor, which has skills based more on technology, and the Officer, which has much more melee combat skills. The Guild Officer is a widespread, you guys can read that if you want to, but essentially, the Inventor gets abilities like mines, throwing bombs, rocket launchers. They, of course, have an emphasis on rifles. And, of course, the Officer, oh yeah, they get bombs, they get, I mean, they're just all about the technology. Bombs, C4, rockets, mines. Again, I'm going to go over the statistics a bit more, you know, the actual stat screen. What's it called? Skill screen. Once we get into the game. And over here you have the Officer, which is much more about melee combat. You know, you learn better skills to make your melee weapons quite a bit more effective. And of course, as far as I can tell, these 2 factions, oh, they're different. Now, of course, I'm just gonna call this guy Abjakilia. Abejakilia. And male, of course. Gonna click done. Now here's another one. You got normal and hardcore. Normal mode is, well, normal mode. You can select from easy, medium, or hard difficulties. And, of course, if you die, then, again, depending on the difficulty, different things will happen. On normal and hard, you go back to the home, or you leave the mission because you failed. On easy, you can revive, but you have to pay a small sum. On hardcore, when you die, you die. And you do not have access to easy difficulty either. I should also mention that in online play, hardcore and normal characters are completely separate. There is no distinct, or you cannot play as a normal character with a hardcore, and similarly vice versa. You cannot play as a hardcore character with a normal character. So anyways, I'm just gonna go normal, because if I go to hardcore, it will give me a prompt, which means I'll take another, like, extra second or so to go to the character creation. For the body, you can choose your body color. You have 4 different options, so, you know, big whoop. We're gonna be white as can be, buff as can be, or skinny as can be. It really doesn't matter. Down here, you of course can look at your full body, or you can get uncomfortably close to the head. It keeps on getting closer, and of course you can randomize your character if you so feel. I'm pretty sure I just got a black ginger there. That's not actually happening. Turn on and off the armor. So if you want to see, well, the reason why you'd want to turn on and off the armor is you can outfit your character with various tattoos on their bodies, on their arms. I should probably take off the armor. There we go. Yeah, there we go. You got various tattoos that you can put onto your character, so you know, customize them however you feel. How many tattoos are there? Because there are quite a few. I never really looked through them because, in case you haven't guessed already, I much prefer to have the armor be my tattoo. So he's got a cracked egg on his chest, and thinks he's wearing socks right now. Sure, why not? Tattoos on his face. Yeah, sure, I'll give him that. Yeah, I guess I could give a. Oh yeah, you can give your character war paint as well to customize that. Oh my God, that looks like something you'd wear at like a death metal concert. You know, I'll take it. In terms of hair, well, let's see. Why can I turn him into a punk rocker? Yes, I can give him a mohawk. Excellent. So why not? I'm gonna make this guy a punk rocker. Gonna give him that. He's gonna. Unfortunately, your hair colors are. Oh wait, hang on. What's this? Oh yeah. It appears as though that your hair colors are limited to naturally occurring hair colors, unless you turn on the color wheel. In which case, I guess I can make this guy's hair however I feel like it should be, which is of course going to be blinding white. This dude. Hang on. I need to get the face paint to match. Let's see. I change that to that. Oh God. What am I doing to this poor character? He's probably completely confused now. Yeah, he looks very confused. The face is where a lot of the customization is, and this is also why they have the, you know, helmet off and on option, which is very nice to have, I gotta say. Lip thick, chin depth, cheek bulge. There's a lot of options here that I don't even know what they mean, but they're here. So there's a lot of character customization that you can do in this game. Very nice to have. You can change the eye color from, again, naturally occurring colors. Yeah, or you can make him blind. Let's make him blind. Screw it. We're already making a ridiculous character here. I'm not going to play as this guy, by the way, just for the record. And, yeah. Alright, give him skin tone 2 and put his armor back on. There we go. This is a face that only a mother could love, really. So, of course, you click finish once you finish, and you go back into the game. I'm not going to do that, because I've already got a character set up. So we're going to go into single player, and, of course, first things first, I'm going to look at Verdrex so I can show you the stat trees of for this particular clan here. And, of course, talk about the loading screen a little bit, because the loading screen likes to freeze. The game isn't freezing, it's just the little spinny thing at the top left that's freezing. It'll just... I've had it at times where it'll just stop until it's completely loaded, which sort of defeats the purpose of it, I suppose. But anyways, a framey loading screen is just literally the definition of nitpicking. So, I'm going to talk about the world later. For now, I'm just going to look at the ground so you guys can't look at it. And we're going to go into the skill tree. So this is the skill tree for the officers, which are, of course, the melee type one. Again, they have javelins, barrier mastery, barriers. Where are these? Oak barriers. I assume these are like shields or something. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you a very good definition of what these things are until you can actually unlock them, like over here. Ferocious Stomp. I don't know what that does, but I assume it like shakes the ground around me. Power Strike. It looks like he's doing a Hadouken. It's probably just meaning that that particular damage is doing more. Caltrops. Again, sorry about this. I haven't really played this character that much because I haven't known that much about, but obviously this character is much more about melee weapons and mysticism than the other characters are. One-hand strikes, two-hand strikes. You got shouts! You can Fus Roda. Fearsome shout, terrifying aura. That's mesmerizing chant. Apparently someone is saying, what the hell? I should not be in a multiplayer game right now. This should be single player. I'm not sure what's going on here. I probably turned on global chat on accident. Let me turn that off. Or not. Okay, so why am I in multiplayer apparently? This is a single player game. I clicked single player. Why is that up there? Whatever. Okay. So back to what I was saying. just ignore the people in the background. So yeah, this is the skill tree for them. Very melee based, very sort of mysticism based, buff based, I should say. Melee and buff based. And now we're gonna look at the technician, who is pretty much the polar opposite of this guy. Return to the main menu. Hopefully this time when I click single player, it'll actually take me to single player. And the game won't freeze. That'd be nice too. There we go. Alright. Back to single player. Now let's load the actual character that I've actually put some actually decent time into. And go into here. This guy is of course part of the what are they called? Very professional video, I'm aware. Well, you know what they are. The opposite people. Where we are, of course, going to look at their tech tree, which is, again, very opposite. They do not use buffs. They do not use melee weapons. What they do use, as I'm about to demonstrate here, when I press the correct button, they use rockets, rocket masteries, mines, lanterns, satchels. They're all about the technology. They can use turrets, which I'm not sure, load with a meal of magazine. They use bombards, which are mandible turrets. I assume that normal turrets, or these turrets down here, are automated. You use sticky bombs, normal bombs, timed bombs, impact bombs. These guys are all about the technology here. They use turrets to help them out. They use bombards to set up defensive positions. Mines as well to do that. Rockets. These guys are all about the stuff. I can press... Oh, I can't do this right here because I'm in the hub world. But yes. Anyways, this is the city of Nexus. This is the hub world of the game. This is pretty much the only place where you aren't going to be ambushed by horrible monsters. And of course down here in the docks is the only way you're going to ever leave this place, because you can't never leave. So pretty much how this works is alright, well never mind. I'm gonna talk about that later. But for now, I know a lot of you guys are looking at the HUD just like, oh god, it's another MMO. And it sort of is. Very much MMO-like. You, of course, have your various abilities on the hotbars. And, of course, I should mention this now. There's a big beef I have with this game. Pausing does not pause the game. Hold on, maybe I should look at it. It does not pause the game. If you're in combat and pause, you will be hit. If you are in the middle of just... It's a silly thing, because the game clearly says single player. You are well aware this is single player. Having you not able to pause the game in single player is unacceptable. You should be able to pause it. Alright, just getting that out there right out of the way. Alright, well now that I'm done with that, well, we gotta take a look at the combat in the game, because I'm sure that's what a lot of people have been looking forward to. So if we go over here to the arena, you can go over here, and of course you can get a combat trainer, or combat video tutorial, which will teach you how to play the game, I guess. I mean, it's fairly self-explanatory when you do play it yourself. But, anyways. Over here we have, of course, player versus enemy, PvE. You can do a combat trainer, which just lets you experiment with different types of weapons. Last stand, which is a wave-based horde mode. And then, of course, you have player versus player, in which you can engage in deathmatch, apparently. Or King of the Hill against, of course, other players. Lions Bridge, Open Battle, Puddles. They got 3 maps, it would appear. I'm not sure how Open Battle is going to work in PvP, especially when this game has guns, but whatever, man. We're just going to act like that doesn't even happen. So let's take a look at Last Stand here. You have Last Stand and Last Stand Extreme, which is, I'd imagine, quite a bit more extreme than the normal one. So let's get in here so I can demonstrate the combat a little bit. And after this, I'm of course going to demonstrate the questing, and yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. Alright, let's just load on in here into the Last Stand. And here we are. Now in order to begin, you just step forward and they open up the gates for you. I don't know why this gate starts off closed. I guess to make it a bit... Oh god, you guys almost closed that on me. I'm very unhappy with that. So, in case you haven't been paying attention, I've been holding this what appears to be a child's play toy in my hand. I asked him to the mill to begin this. This is not a child's play toy, this is very much a gun, which of course you hold down the left mouse button to charge it up, and which of course makes the crosshair smaller. Forgive me, it's difficult to aim and talk at the same time. If you move, then your aim concentration will slow down quite a bit. Thankfully, these guys like to get up in my face, so I don't need to have a very good crosshair. Unfortunately, these enemies are actually very good at recognizing when I'm about to hit them. So... well, I thought they were. Apparently not. So let me just go ahead and gun down these fools really easily. Oh, maybe not. He's starting to run! Alright, let me switch to something a bit more versatile in this situation. A great sword! Now again, the combat in this game is... Oh, can I kick this guy into a pit? Oh, jeez. Or I could just get knocked flat on my butt. Now, one of the major advertising points of this game was meaty... Okay, I need to get out of here. Was meaty combat, which it most certainly is. The attacks... Well, it's a lot better than most MMOs, as I'm sure you're seeing. You can miss. You don't get up into your face. It doesn't give you an arbitrary number. Oh, God, that guy just... When you get hit in the face, as we learned right there, you get a critical hit, which certainly hurts like a mother, and I died. That was silly. Now, in hardcore, I'm not sure if dying on the last stand kills your character. I'd imagine it would, but who knows. Alright, let me try that again. But yeah, there's the basic combat in the game. Let me try and explain it a bit better, because the melee weapons are a little bit more ornate than the ranged weapons. I mean, the ranged weapons are simple. You hold down the left mouse button, wait for the crosshair to get small, and you shoot. Very much like, I believe it's Mountain Blade. Very much in the vein of that. There's nothing else that you can do with the gun. You can't block, you can't melee. You can press F to kick, which will get people away from you, as I hope you'd understand. Now the Great Sword. Now, as far as I can tell, let me say this right now. One-handed weapons have the exact same move set no matter what they are, and two-handed weapons have the exact same move set no matter what they are. So that's just nitpicking, let's be honest now. In terms of attacks, you have... It's all dedicated to the left mouse button. Right mouse is block. You, of course, cannot wield a shield while using two-handed. That would just be silly. You use left mouse button, and you do this attack. You, now, depending on how you're moving, you will perform a different maneuver. Like, if you're moving forward, it's the exact same thing. If you're moving backward, exact same thing. But if you're moving left or right, then you get a bit more of a horizontal swing to it. And if you press space, which is... Space is the dodge button, lets you dodge really quickly. You can still be hit while dodging, mind you. And, so that's something to bear in mind. Dodge is used to get out of there, not for invincibility frames. And if you press forward while pressing space with your weapon equipped, then you do a quick little jab attack. One small thing is that if you have a weapon and press space while moving forward, it doesn't actually do anything. You don't do a forward dodge, which is actually really unfortunate. Now, if I sheath my weapon, of course, you moving forward jumps and moving left and right while pressing space dodges. Again, it is a bit unfortunate that there's no forward dodge unless you're using a melee weapon, but whatever. It's not like it really matters all that much. Alright, so let me try this one last time, and then we'll get into the actual questing. Actually, no, I probably want to demonstrate the... No, I'll demonstrate the crafting after the questing. The crafting is actually a pretty important part of the game here. Alright, let's not fiddle around with some guns anymore. Let's just get in here and get smacked in the face. Now, unfortunately, obviously this is a great sword. It's not going to have a whole lot of weight to it. Oh yeah, that's right, yeah. When you hit someone in the head, it will, of course, deal a critical hit. Which is actually really unfortunate, because that guy is really good at hitting me in the head. His weapon is at perfect height for it. Man, I did not have this much trouble the first time I fought this guy. Of course, the first time I fought this guy, I stayed away and had guns. Which is probably something I want to do. Because this guy is also really slow and really easy to shoot as a result. So, you know, taking advantage of his weakness, and boop. Oh, I missed. Alright, well, you know what? You want to have some fun? Let's have a little bit of fun. I'm going to press the 2 and find my rocket launcher. I missed. Alright, let's try that again. Rockets! Which, I should also explain how the abilities work in this game. You'll notice those little numbers above my abilities. The 34, 61, 34. These are the different types of gems. You have, like, or not gems, pebbles, rather, as they're called. Aether pebbles, I believe they are. You have light pebbles. What are they? Or I don't think that's a light pebble, actually. You have fire pebbles and venom pebbles, time pebbles, venom pebbles. Pretty much how these pebbles work is they are what you use to use your abilities. They and this purple bar, or not purple, that's blue. This blue bar, you need it to cast spells. It will, not spells, but using abilities will drain this meter, and of course it tends to regenerate pretty quickly. But in addition to that, it consumes these pebbles. You need these pebbles to use your abilities. If you don't have the pebbles, then you can't use the abilities. So, as you can see, I fired a rocket. Oh, maybe not. Does rocket not use those abilities? I thought I did. Okay, maybe I have a way misunderstanding here. Might explain why I have so many of these pebbles, despite the fact that I've used so many. Alright, so we have these little gremlins here. I'm just going to shoot them. Shot that one right in the D. And you know what? Why don't I try and use a AoE? Boom! Get out of here. So apparently the rocket doesn't actually use pebbles. I'm not sure how you... I'm going to be honest, I'm still a little bit confused as to how the skills works. Because I thought it used the pebbles every single time you used an ability. At least that... Oh, wait, it's because I'm in the arena. Dirt. So yeah, since I'm in the arena, I guess it doesn't actually use the pebbles to use these abilities. Well, that was a fast round, wasn't it? Alright, well I'm going to quit on out of this arena so I can demonstrate the questing and crafting a little bit. Because those are two, obviously, very big parts. Let's quit to the Nexus. Now, of course, you can go to the arena to farm money. It's pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. And let's head back to the hub world, grab a few quests, and head on out on an adventure! But before I go out on the adventure, I'm going to show you guys the crafting system as well. As soon as it loads. The loading screens do tend to take a little bit in this game, but again, it might just be because my computer's crap. Who knows? Alright, let's go. Also, there is a pretty major bug. When I do go out questing, there is a pretty major bug I want to demonstrate here. But again, first things first, I want to demonstrate the crafting. But while there, of course, this game works. We have our radar up there at the top left. We have the green people who are NPCs of note. The little U in the little U with the two towers is the arena, and of course we have some exclamation points up here which indicate quests. Very much MMO-like.
Welcome to the Inventors Guild, friend.
So of course they say good day, Lumion. I'm assuming Lumion is your race. I don't know. That's one small problem. They don't do a very good job of explaining the lore in this game. They just give you these names and expect you to figure it out. I assume Lumion is your race. I'm not sure. Either way, I am Copernicus of the Inventors Guild's second craftsman. I hear good things about you from Alana. I have a less glamorous job for you, should you feel like heading back into the Gallian wilderness. An expedition of mine, led by Captain Castrolica, has gone missing. They are investigating a ruin said to have been an old refuge outpost. Alright, so of course, in typical fashion, I'm going to accept all the quests in the world.
Hello.
Hello! You didn't sound too excited there, didn't you? Voice acting in this game is alright. It's not the worst, it's not the best. It's in the middle. Alright, we need Tuskabor High, travel to the Mum Valley and Nargal. I'm gonna accept that and go kill some people. Now, of course, you can press tab to bring on and off the objective. You can press M to bring up the quest map, which obviously I don't have, and, well, that's, again, a pretty major bug involving the quest map there. Also involving the pause menu. Big surprise, the broken pause, the fact that the game doesn't actually pause might actually prove to be a detriment. Because most of these things, they just slap a GUI on the middle screen and say deal with it. Oh, wait, the character actually kept on moving after I paused it. Nice. And here's your apartment. This is where you can view your achievements, your statistics. For some reason you have a gigantic boar head in there, even though you haven't even killed one before. Whatever. As far as I'm aware, in the lore, this is your first time even in the city, but you've got your own apartment with all kinds of treasure in it. Anyways, and here's the blacksmith shop, where you are going to participate in the crafting of recipes. And also in here, I'm going to go into the statistics of the weapons as well, which is something I did neglect to mention earlier. Alright, here we go. We're in here. This is the blacksmith shop. One of these swords is going to fall into someone, resulting in a lawsuit eventually. I guarantee it. Anyways.
Hello there.
He can give you a crafting tutorial, but the crafting is fairly intuitive. It's not that hard to learn. You can also just straight up buy weapons and materials from him, but that'd be silly. I want to craft! In here you can craft armors, torso, shield, helmet, gloves. You can craft weapons, which are ranged one-handed, which is only going to be pistols. Ranged two-handed, which is crossbows and rifles. And then, of course, melee one-handed and melee two-handed. Now, for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to make a one-handed mace, because I actually don't have one of those yet. My god, look at the contrast. Alright, so here's the crafting menu. You can choose a style of handle, which generally doesn't have, as you can see down here, it does not have much of an effect on the stats at all. I mean, it's nearly negligible of the effect on the stats it has. So you can just pick whatever style you feel is the best for you. So, oh wow, that's a pretty nice looking one. Unfortunately, these ones also tend to be quite expensive. Okay, that one just makes it look like a baby rattler. Alright, let me see. I like this Lumic handle. And in terms of the mace head, let's again... Is that a horse? You know what? Oh my god, these are some interesting mace heads here. A lot of crafting options here. The mace actually doesn't have too many compared to most other weapons. Down here you can choose the material for the weapons. This is where most of the stats will come from, depending on it. But again, this is the handle, so it doesn't have that much of an option. And here we go. Let's see, I can make a steel horned mace, which he's actually out of stock of the steel. I'm not sure what determines how much stuff he has in stock here, but alright, hang on. First of all, I should demonstrate. Alright, let's just make it out of worn metal And let's just make the handle out of worn metal. And this one out of, where's some copper? Here we go. Alright, so pretty much, I want to make this sword. I want to make this horned mace out of this stuff right here. I don't actually, I'm not going to do that because that'd be silly, but if I could, I would. Now I have plenty of worn metal, because that stuff's nearly useless, but I don't have any copper. But since I guess I've discovered copper, or since I'm at a certain point in the game, I can buy the missing stuff I require. So if I were to pay 1,680 gold, I can buy all missing stuff that I require to make it. In terms of money, well, we've seen how easily you can get money. You can get materials pretty easily as well. Again, I'd assume later in the game you get even more. Not that there's well, whatever. What am I trying to say? Also, I could bookmark this item for later investigations. Like if I wanted to keep this one because I liked how much shock damage it had, then I could bookmark it. Look at a different one. Look back at my copper hunter rifle, and come back at this one at any time I want to. I can actually probably take these two off the hotbar. But while we're here, why don't we take a look at the? Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh well. Why don't we take a look at the longsword, of course. You can choose the different guard, which again, negligible effect on the stats, but you can pick some really, really cool handles here. I went with the arm guard one, because it's very cool looking. You can pick the cardinal blade. Again, the effect is, this one actually does cause a small amount of effect, but it's fairly negligible. You can choose the handle, the material as well, we'll change it. Bone, iron, copper. There's all sorts of different ways to customize your weapons in here. If we go into ranged, of course, I'll look into pistols. And, of course, we can change the type of chamber to one that looks incredibly awesome. It looks like the pistol out of Bioshock Infinite, actually, I gotta say. Switch it to the Lumic handgun barrel, the Marshall stock, the Lumic chamber. You can change all sorts of stuff here. Now, the armor is also a pretty big one here. You can change it, Lumic garb, Shylum, you can just... There's a lot of different types of armor in this game, suffice it to say, and apparently all of it's purple. That's just because I have purple burlap selected. So if I wanted the burlap colony guard, then instead of having purple burlap, I could make it out of red burlap. Though the material is again what matters here. Also, the basic type of armor will affect the base stats as well, but the different type of material will help it. And thankfully, the different types of material come in very, very different colors. Of course, you have burlap. Then you have cloth, which comes in a variety of colors. You have leather, which comes in a variety of colors. Snakeskin comes in a variety of colors. These different ones, the colors obviously aren't different, but the different materials are. Drogettes, I didn't even know that was a word until today. Duvetine, that's the same for that one. You can change it to scale. Probably don't want to know where those scales come from. Boarhide, you can just change it to all sorts of things. A lot of customization in this one, and again, the material. Material makes a lot of difference, but again, you can't paint platinum, so your platinum is a set color, so it sort of makes sense that you can't do that. So yeah, that is essentially crafting. Now, hang on, let me go back to my mace here that I highlighted, and let me make it out of a few more superior. I can't make it out of dark casterite, unfortunately. I have not yet discovered that, I suppose. And I'll make the handle out of iron as well. Let's go ahead and buy some missing, spend my money, and craft the item. Now here's the thing. You have a 50% chance of success. Through pushing your materials and crafting ability to the limit, you can achieve a 10% bonus to all item attributes. If you fail, the item is broken and lose 50% of your materials. So you can either craft, or I'm not sure what finish craft means. I mean, I guess it just... Finish craft obviously just crafts the item. Or you saw that push your luck button, which means that if you push your luck, you have a 50% chance of failure, or 10% chance of getting an increased buff to all the stats. So, of course, obviously, since it's a percentage increase, the higher the stats, the higher the effect will be of pushing your luck. But, of course, due to the chance of failure, and due to the chance of the higher stats, due to the chance of failure, you can lose the items that you're using to build the higher stats, which again, for the higher stats, the valuables are more required. So, you know, a nice little touch there. I like the crafting system. I like the crafting system in this game a lot. A lot of customization. It's good. It's a good crafting system. I like it. Although, again, I also haven't played any other MMOs or MMO-likes, so, you know, take that for granted. Oh, wait, I didn't demonstrate the stats yet. Oops, let me get to that. Dear Lord, this is a long video. Alright, again, I meant to demonstrate that in the crafting, but I got carried away with the customization because it's so good. You can get all sorts of different wacky things. I mean, as you can tell, I turned my what's supposed to look into an awesome what's supposed to look like an awesome rifle, and I turned it into what looks like a child's something you'd buy at Toys R Us back in 1999. All right. So if I were to go in here, this is your inventory. Of course, you can equip, unequip it. I could equip my Iron Galleon Mace if I wanted to. I probably don't, but you never know. I could equip that. Now, the thing about, obviously, Greatsword two-handed, and I'm going to keep that one equipped, but I like it. If we go down here, you of course see the impact damage. That is raw damage that will be dealt to the target when you strike them. That is just the base damage you have. But then you have Shock Force, which is sort of a big deal in this game, because obviously this game tries to feature meaty combat. I'd say it succeeds pretty well. I mean, the combat is meaningful, the strikes are actually meaningful. It's not like, say, Skyrim or World of Warcraft, where you just sort of swing a 1,600-pound great sword at a little tiny dwarf, and he just stands there and is like, what? You know, his health bar drains magically. But let's see here. Yeah, we have Shock Force. Pretty much the higher that is, the more force you're hitting an enemy with. The more force you're hitting an enemy with, the more likely you are to topple them, obviously. So, I mean, you know, you want to have more force if you want to topple someone. So, my greatsword, it's only got three shock force because, well, it's a greatsword. It cleaves. It doesn't smash. So, it's not going to have a pretty good chance of knocking people over. It might knock over some small critters, but it's also going to one-shot small critters, so that's that. As for the Galleon Mace, which of course, what is it? While it doesn't deal much damage, it will knock over people, effectively proving to be a better crowd control option. And then of course you have Aether damage, which I assume is just magic damage, because I believe you can embed what are called Aether Gems into your weapons, which will give them certain elemental properties. Earth will knock them away. I would assume that means it increases shock force. Fire will of course burn them. Venom will poison them. Yada 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 yada. Speaking of which, if I go into the skill tree a bit more in depth, if we look down here into say timed bombs, and you see I have a timed venom bomb, which I can use to obviously throw, and a few seconds later it will poison them. Also, you can cook the timed bombs, which is rather important to note. Of course. So if I were to go through here, you can get one for all the different types of bombs. You can get water bombs, which I'm not sure what they do. They appear to have some pretty nice impact damage. I get an earth bomb, which, oh yeah, as we can see, it's got, let's see here. Let's take a look at the shock force. 168 on water, 192 on earth. Impact damage on light is pretty much 0. So it's not going to deal any damage, but it's more like a flashbang. It blinds enemies when it hits them. Time bomb slows people down. And, of course, fire ignites people on fire, as you'd assume. So, of course, you can get all these different elements for all these different things. You can see I've got time rockets, so if I want to slow someone down who's all the way across the room from me, I can, although, honestly, getting a time mine would be good. What's really funny is you can get a timed time bomb. I don't know. It made me chuckle my first time. You can get bombards, which, as far as I can tell, are essentially deployable turrets. I'm actually going to get a point into this and see what we got. I got a fire bombard. I'm going to equip this one. Now, according to the description of this one, this dude was just jogging in place over there. We're just going to ignore that. You throw it down, and then you can man it to use it. So, of course, I'm going to experiment with that a little bit later once we get into the actual game there. Can I drag the bombard down? Apparently, I can't. No. Oh, right, I have to confirm. There we go. Alright, so now I have to go back into the stats menu, which is, yeah, it's not that bad. Let's be reasonable now. I'll get rid of the fire mines, and now I've got a bombard on my slot. So, let's take a look down. I believe we should be good to go here. How much does a bombard cost again to use? It costs 7 fire gems to use a fire bombard. Probably shouldn't have used the fire bombard, but whatever, man. I'm commentating. Mistakes are acceptable. And as you can see, you can, in case you did screw up like I did there, then you can just, also I could have canceled, but again, whatever. Alright, so here's the man we go to our quests. Show me the quest map. And of course over here we can do the Galleon Tuskboar Hunt or Dusk Rain. I do Dusk Rain because I want to kill some people and explore around. Now, according to the description, there are different types of ones. You have hand-created, like handcrafted levels, but there are also procedurally generated exploration missions. So, also we can just select our difficulty down here. Hold on a second, I'm going to take a drink. Alright, sorry about that. But we're back now, and my throat is a little bit moist, so now I can speak. So pretty much you can select your difficulty here. Easy, enemies have less health and less damage, and if you die you can respawn for a small fee. Normal, enemies deal high damage and will have to retry the entire expedition upon your death. They aren't quests in this game, they're expeditions. And of course hard just increases their damage and health. So I'm just going to stick to normal, and we're going to start this quest. Let's get in there. And helen out. Oh, maybe. Are we in? There we go. That was a rather lengthy loading screen. Oh, there we go. The game does like to occasionally lock up a little bit, and the boat that dropped us off is just chilling out way out there. They dropped us in here using an airship, and now we get to go and explore on our own. You've been equipped with flare rockets for this mission. When you have located the Captain Castrala's expedition, you are supposed to call down the airship using these flares. Select them in your inventory, pull them, yada yada yada. It's just telling you how to use flare guns, which you use to evacuate, essentially. Now, as far as I can tell, there are 3 different ways they have you escape from missions like this. This mission clearly wants us to use the flare gun, which, of course, we shoot the flare, the airship comes down, and saves us. However, there is another one in which you pull a lever, and then you engage in sort of like a short survival boss fight as you await the airship to come down. And then there was another one where I just pressed E on a door and magically I'm back at Nexus, so... I don't know. There's a couple of different ways that the game likes to end their ways here. Now, if we go over here, this is our quest map. We use it to explore around. Unfortunately, I do have a few problems with this map. One of them is that it's very obtrusive. It's kind of, I don't know, it's like right in the middle of the screen as opposed to, you know, to the left where there isn't anything. Where, you know, it'd be nice to have it to the left, I gotta say. But then there's a little bit more of a serious problem with this one. So, if I were to pause... there you go. It covers the it covers the pause menu GUI. Also, you can tab in and out of the map while the GUI or while the menu thing is open. So they accidentally got the depth of the menu wrong, so that's unfortunate. But there's an even bigger issue. Can you believe it? If I go into settings and change an interface option, I mean, you could change anything, really. Just anything that would anything that would affect the way that the camera works. In this case, I'm going to change the camera position to middle. So, once we do that, we have the map. Alright, I'm gonna switch it back to, right. There we go. Apply. And, so yeah, we have the map. There you go. It's supposed to operate via a fog of war option. They kinda failed. Because changing an interface option with the... I should mention, while the map is closed, that will not happen, but if the map is open when you change the GUI setting, or change an interface setting, then the map is now yours. And it's not just this map either. You're going to see we're heading into a new area. And, of course, the new areas are separated by these sort of cave-like areas. We have this map as well. We have every single map until we return to Nexus. So that is a bit of a bug there. Developers might want to look into fixing that one. I stumbled across that one completely on accident. I guarantee you there are other people who know about this glitch already. And it seems a little bit abusive, especially given the fact that this is a game mostly about exploring the wilderness around there. You'll see me picking those plants. Those plants will allow me to heal. Also, you have a heal stone, which is that little green plus down there. You use it, and it takes a long time to recharge again, so you want to be wise with its usage, but it will always heal you to full. If you get hit while the healing stone is healing you, then that damage is almost completely neglected. You can't swim in this game. Your character will just try and run into nothingness, so whatever. That's hardly an issue. That's nitpicking right there. Alright, many tales have been spun about the colonists lost trying to settle within its marshes. Another pair of bridges should be further north. Where is north? I don't know. You do have the compass at the top right. It will, again, tell you exactly where to go. Although, again, this game does reward you for exploring around. I discovered a chest filled with all kinds of delicious, delicious loot hiding behind a small forest. Fortunately, it doesn't look like there's going to be anything around here. Again, I believe these specific types of missions right here are procedurally generated, which is another reason why the fact that the map can be fully revealed is a bit of a broken and abusive glitch. And it kind of kills the feel, but yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure how okay, those are new enemies. Ho ho. Looks like their shots might end up poisoning me, so I'm gonna lock and load. Oh god, he critted me for 7 damage. Ow. Oh my god. Whoa, what's going on here? I'm getting drunk off plant venom. So this is the poison effect, apparently. I've never been hit by a debuff before, so that's new to me. I should probably be dodging right now. Let's switch to the greatsword and kill this What is that? Were-rabbit? Looks like some sort of were-rabbit. Unfortunately, the unfortunate reality of a great sword is that... Oh my god, I'm getting my shit rocked right now. Again, this game is very dependent on hit and miss combat. I mean, you dodge, you slash, you miss. You have a fatigue bar, and as you can see, it's already been completely drained for me. So I really gotta count killing those guys. Level ups do not restore you to full. What do we got here? We got 35 bones. Holy crap. It's a lot of bones. More importantly, though, we get black leather, which is what I use to make this armor right here, actually. Ooh. Again, the game likes to lock up and freeze for very short pauses. That could be my PC. It could be common. Either way, I'm killing these things. I don't know what they are, but I really don't want to deal with their... Oh, God. Well, I killed the other one. This one wasn't so lucky. Can I loot it? Can I take... Aha, there we go. What did I get? I got sickleweed. So apparently those are plants. So, I should probably mention the story as well. Pretty much, 3 terrifyingly dangerous astronomical events have hit the world of Aethereus. And these astronomical events have essentially brought about the end of civilization, which these people refer to as the Ancient Ones. And now, this little continent right here of... oh, fuck, what's this continent called? Well, you saw it on the quest map back there. I'll put it up on screen. This continent is now a wilderness, uninhabitable, and so people hire these little expeditions in Nexus to go and essentially complete quests for them, because this place is very dangerous, filled with all sorts of horrible monsters and beasts. And it is your job as the player to explore these terrifyingly dangerous wildernesses. Where am I going? I'm actually not entirely sure, so I guess I'm just gonna follow this path temporarily. Again, very open-ended, and I quite like that. It's exploration. It feels nice. Unfortunately, there isn't too much reward for exploring, but you know, you can explore if you want to. You can explore if you want to. You can leave your peace behind. I'm just gonna eat one of those fruits that I picked earlier. And the human comet hasn't turned these tents into a rotting mass yet. So, pretty much, again, right here, I am investigating the loss of these people. So, I'm just going to completely smash that crate. And we're going to loot. We got toad pod, fire pebbles, which means I can use more things, tan leather, red snake skin, yellow burlap. What kind of a world has red snakes? Warm metal, blue burlap. Essentially, just go around here and just spam the E key to grab every single bit of loot you can. Is there anything else around here for me to loot? Nope, that's a flower. You can't loot a flower. Flowers are unimportant. I'm gonna switch to my gun, actually. And we're gonna take a quick look around. Okay, those are big. Man, I'm discovering all sorts of horrible things. No wonder why these guys died. How'd you like that? These guys appear to be rather slow, so I guess I don't have to... Whoa, okay! Opened my mouth way too soon. Again, just gonna dodge to the side because otherwise the gun has... You know, the gun does not have a side roll. Alright. Oh! I did not mean to fire rockets. Alright, there's a smoke grenade. Eat it. The smoke grenade is the technician's first innate ability. Normally I wouldn't invest money in such a paltry device, but... Alright, not money, but skill points in such a paltry device. But I had to, so, you know. That's that. Oh, geez, guys, see the headshot? Again, the headshot is always going to be a guaranteed crit, so you always want to try and aim it. That's the nice thing about great swords. It's pretty easy to aim the shots. And again, all two-handed weapons have the same thing. However, heavier weapons are slower. I mean, I had a great hammer, and it was far slower than this weapon. Of course, it's also a great hammer, so it knocked people flat on their butts when I hit them. And it was very satisfying to do so. Alright, let's keep going around here. You can press shift to block, you can press right-click to block. It doesn't really make that big of a difference. And let's keep going! Continue exploring the wilderness. And hopefully find this poor man. But yes, carrying on with the story, recently it was discovered that this completely untamed, I don't know. Man, I've completely lost the lore. Should I just try again? Yeah. So essentially there were 3 astronomical disasters that hit the Earth that were called Skyfalls. Yeah, had the first, the second, and the third Skyfall, and they pretty much ravaged all life on this planet. But obviously it's still preserved. And for whatever reason, now there are artifacts on this continent here in particular called Skyfall artifacts that should supposedly grant the possessor of these artifacts untold power. So of course there are people like you going on expeditions into this crazy untamed wilderness to attempt to find these artifacts either for someone who hired you or perhaps for yourself. Who knows? Either way, there's another new enemy over there. I'm meeting all kinds of new people. I should mention that the scope is only there for aesthetics. I don't think I can actually use the scope. Oh, did you guys see that? Did you guys see that no scope? That was pretty sick. Oh god, they're shooting something at me. Is that like arcane blasts or what? Regardless, I can shoot back. I have technology. Eat it. Oh, they're coming in for a flank. All right, let's switch to my sword and teach these guys what happens to those who flank the Ginger Dragon. Oh, uh-oh. I'm coming in from behind. Ha! And swing again. Oh, he actually blocked there. You can block. The game calls it a parry when you successfully block, although a successful block really only negates the damage. A shield, I believe, increases the amount of frames that you can block. Of course. And that guy completely tried. He failed. Because, I mean, when you do block, it's just a short animation. It's similar to Chivalry in that respect. A lot of the I don't know. The blocking is very similar to Chivalry when you don't have a shield. Again, I haven't actually used a shield, but I'd assume that a shield will let you hold it up indefinitely, because I've seen some of the enemies do that as well. Now, unfortunately, I don't think I can cross this water here. It's a bit too deep for poor old Akvanir. So let's keep on going around here. But yeah, combat in this game is actually quite entertaining. I'm enjoying the combat in this game. It's quite fun. It does get a little bit repetitive after a time, but it's honestly, I'd say it pulls off the combat very well. It's very entertaining. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. This game is pretty fun. I should start talking about the price point, shouldn't I? Well, you can buy the game via Steam. The game is $30 USD, of course, or your regional equivalent. I'd hope so. I don't know. I mean, as far as I can tell, Steam tends to really dislike Australia, so that's a thing. And of course, so you know, $30 USD or your regional equivalent, or currently it's on sale until October 4th for $24 USD. So, if you want to buy in early, you better buy in early. Oh man, look at all those pebbles I got, and iron war metal. Again, getting loot in this game is pretty easy. Ooh. No, I thought someone just tried to attack me from behind. That was a plant. It's getting scared by shadows. So again, the game does reward exploration, because, I mean, obviously I'm not supposed to go this way, because there's nothing over here, but I found a nice little loot crate that gave me some more gems, which should allow me to use my abilities a tiny bit more, which is always nice. Alright, let's see if I can figure out what I'm supposed to be going here. Looks like we got some stairs. Maybe. I don't know. The platforming... Oh, okay! You're a little piece of work, aren't you? Well, I just blow you up. Oh, I missed. Maybe that time? Nope, that missed as well. Yeah, as you can see, now that I'm not in the arena, these abilities are actually draining my my gemstones, so I need to be a little bit more careful with it. Why don't I use a grenade? So as you can see, I'm cooking it, and throw! That was a pathetic throw! Oh my... I forgot. Well, that sucked. Oh yeah, I can press 3 to do a very quick evasion roll. And unfortunately, I'm actually all out of stamina and mana, and it would appear as though that poison actually prevents you from regenerating those two. Wow, that is actually really dangerous. Either that or it's some sort of... Yeah, no, it's the poison. I guess the poison drains everything, not just health. That would explain the difference, because... Alright, so I see. Poison drains health, stamina, and... I'm going to call it mana, but it is called something else, actually. I'd have to check the stats menu to show off. Oh, so I should show off the level up as well. I'll do that after I kill these fools. Or after these fools kill me. Okay, so this is actually going pretty terribly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to... I'm not going to open up that. Okay, let's get out of here. Dodge that. Press T to use the heal stone, which will heal me to max. And that should be good to go. Now, why don't I use my little turret here? Alright, I did that, and I can interact with it, and... Yes! Oh, I see. It fires grenades. Ha! I like it. I like it a lot. Get out of here! So that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. And I assume it's going to be there until it's destroyed, right? Let me see if I can destroy it. Oh, yeah. So I guess that thing remains there until it's destroyed, so that's actually really nice. I see, and so the turrets are just like that, except they have a rapid fire instead of a grenade. Alright, I gotcha. I gotcha. That's cool. You see, I like the abilities in this game. They work well. Let's see if I can figure out where to go. But yes, the level ups. As you can see here, we have strength, agility. Am I being attacked? It looks like I am. Either way, the dude appears to really suck at aiming, so I guess I don't have to worry too much. Let me just pull out the gun. I suppose one thing I could do is just sit here behind a pillar, wait for my aim to max up, because moving does not limit it, it just decreases the time. There we go, he's dead now. Yeah, little pest! Alright, so as you can see, we have strength, agility, constitution, perception, willpower, intuition, and another bloody monster. Ooh, this guy's right in my face. I like it. Alright, stop reloading so I can switch to another weapon and kill this guy, who apparently isn't even paying attention to me. Alright, I'll take it. What did he drop? He dropped some Venetian roses. Aww. He was probably a pacifist. He was coming to greet me. I feel like he was an emissary. Oh well. Acceptable losses. But as you can see, strength, agility, constitution, perception, willpower, intuition, they all share the same bar. So you cannot have a very fast character who is also incredibly burly. You cannot have an incredibly strong character who is also very good at blocking and aiming. And you cannot have somebody with a lot of health regen and blocking bonuses also be good at using abilities. I mean, these bars, so like, if I were to bring the agility over here, I'd only be able to bring strength up to here. So that's an interesting way to go about things. I actually quite like it. Anyways, I'm gonna upgrade my strength a little bit more, and there goes all my points. I'll upgrade my perception as well. That's aim speed, right? Yep. There we go. Confirm the points, and let's carry on, shall we? Now, forgive me, this is the first really big title I've covered on the Game Prowl. There's a lot of stuff to talk about in this one, so I apologize for the long video and if I forgot any information. If you do have any questions, please be sure to ask me in the comments below. But for now, this, ladies and gentlemen, is Legends of Aethereus by, oh, man, I feel like a bad person. This is, of course, Legends of Aethereus, available on Steam, and I believe the developer's website, for $30. Oh dear, I fear as though that Castrolica has been killed. So that's unfortunate. A lot of people have been killed. Oh, by these stupid things. But yes, $30 on Steam, $24 until October 4th comes out. Oh, that was brilliant. Oh man, I'm good with rocket launchers. And as I burn horribly thanks to my own stupidity, I will see you guys next time.